souls, hello one and all. Welcome to Grandma D's house, where you can be you, I can be me, and we'll learn from the magic book machine. We'll put some things in, then a story comes out to help us figure out what life is all about. So come and see Grandma D, Fifi, Brandon, and Ashley, 'cause when you're with them, you're with family. 1, 2, fiddly 3, it's Grandma D in the magic book machine.
Oh, hi, reading friends. I'm just finishing up here. I was just at the grocery store down the street, getting some things for Mr. T and Grandma. I'm responsible now. I'm 3. I was at the store, and I saw a man with the fluffiest hair. Through my mask, I said, "I love your hair." Well, he did not take too kindly to that, and he moved away. Well, reading friends, I thought I was being nice. So, since the man and I, have the same hair, that means we should get along, right? Well, we should be best friends even, because we both have fabulous hair. We are the same, right?
Not always, Fifi LaFontaine.
Oh, hi, Brandon. I didn't see you.
Hi, reading friends. Hey, Fifi, I overheard what you were saying. What happened next?
Oh, well, I thought about what Grandma D might say to help us through and work through our differences. And then I remembered, I was wearing a mask on my face. And 'cause of the virus. And I thought maybe he couldn't hear me. Or maybe even,
even masks are just spooky to some people.
Oh.
So maybe you might have frightened him.
Oh.
He may not have felt the same way you did.
Right. Grandma D told me once, it just means everyone's emotions are different in our hearts
and in our minds.
Right.
I remember.
And this is why I wanted to read a special book to y'all about how even in the strangest of situations, we can find commonality and be friends.
But maybe not with a stranger at a store from behind a mask.
Oh, Brandon, you're so silly. Okay, reading friends, let's read together. Why don't I start? Encounter, written by Brittany Luby, illustrated by Michaela Gold. Sun rose to light all creation. He woke seagull and mouse from their nests. He coaxed mosquito from a long blade of grass. He chuckled as crab retreated inside her shell. When the coastline buzzed with life, Sun woke the two-leggeds with a burst of light. This is Fisher. He tried to shoo Sun away by wiggling his toes, so Sun tickled Fisher's knee. Fisher rolled onto his belly. Sun persisted and gently warmed Fisher's neck. Fisher woke at last to welcome a day ahead. I will paddle till water's thick with mackerel, he said. Fisher turned his canoe, loaded his nets, and pushed out to the ocean. This is Sailor. He came from away. He tried to block Sun by pulling a cap over his eyes. Sun peeked through the fabric knit with love. "Wake up, Sailor," Sun whispered. At last Sailor smiled. "Today I will explore unknown lands in the new world." Sailor lowered a boat from the ship. He rowed toward shore. Sun had not traveled far when Fisher and Sailor paddled into the same bay. Fisher knew the bay like the curve of his fingernail, but he did not know Sailor. Am I dreaming? Fisher wondered. He rubbed his eyes. Sailor remained. Sailor was puzzled too. Perhaps these lands aren't so new. Both Sailor and Fisher hesitated, but the tide did not pause. It nudged them inland. Encouraged, they pulled their boats onto the rocky shore. With his canoe secure, Fisher greeted Sailor, "Quay, quay." Fisher watched Sailor's eyes open wide like jellyfish. He speaks different than me, Sailor thought. But he replied, Salutations. Sailor watched Fisher's forehead wrinkle like an earthworm. We do not sound the same, Fisher thought. But he waved cautiously at Sailor. You are not so different, squawked the seagull who flew overhead. You both cast long shadows. Sailor tried to explain his journey across the water by drawing it in the sand. As Sailor sketched, his red wool cap fell onto the ground. Fisher laughed. He imagined Lobster had leapt off Sailor's head and scrambled back into the ocean. The wind lifted Fisher's hair. Sailor chuckled. He thought Fisher's hair looked like a horse's tail. You have much in common, Mosquito buzzed. You both taste delicious. Sun now sat directly overhead, and Sailor was getting hungry. His stomach grumbled. Sailor pulled out sea bread from his pocket. He gnawed at the edge before offering it to Fisher, who took a bite. Ugh, I'd rather chew wood, Fisher thought, and returned the sea bread. Fisher offered Sailor a handful of sunflower seeds. Sailor popped them into his mouth. Ugh, I'd rather eat pebbles. He spat, peppering the ground with unopened seeds. Oh, Fisher laughed. You must crack open the shell. Wordlessly, Fisher taught Sailor how to reach the heart of the seed. Mouse was grateful for their crumbs. Lucky me, Mouse said, a feast. Sun blazed west. Sailor saw sweat beading on Fisher's chest. Does he not burn? Sailor wondered. He is almost bare. Fisher watched sweat race down Sailor's temples from underneath his cap. Is he not boiling? Fisher wondered. He is heavily dressed. Fisher pointed at the waves and Sailor beamed. Together they jumped in. Crab woke briefly to admire both swimmers. What fine figures, Crab thought. They each found a shelter that suits them. Sailor and Fisher returned to shore where whistling in the bay alerted them that 2 beluga whales had come to play. Fisher whistled back. Sailor, too. They chased the whales along the shore. Good game. You'd make a strong pod, the belugas bellowed, and disappeared beneath the sparkling waves. Before sun fell, Sailor and Fisher parted with a sleepy smile. Fisher set up camp. He unrolled a cedar mat under his canoe. He prayed for another friendly encounter and lay down to rest. Sailor returned to the ship. He pulled his straw mat onto the deck. Sailor wished on a star for fewer chores and another chance to meet Fisher before the long journey home. Moon watched Sailor and Fisher fall asleep. She shone on their 10 fingers. She shone on their 10 toes. Moon listened to their 2 hearts beat. Ba-boom, ba-boom. She heard the beauty of all living things. The end.
Wow, that was an exciting tale.
Tail? Like Fifi has a tail. Not a book, Shug.
No, silly. See, reading friends, a book or story is a tale.
Oh, well, I love that tale. Every time we read it, it reminds me that no matter who we are, no matter where we are, we may have different thoughts and feelings. So in the end, we are all the same, and that's just great.
Exactly. Well, Fifi, reading friends, since story time is over, we best get into the kitchen and make us a snack. So for now, I will say we hope you enjoyed today's story time and that you come back again real soon.
Yeah, remember, as Grandma D always says, I don't much care for goodbyes. So for now, we'll say farewell.
It's time to say farewell for now. Farewell. Farewell. For now. For now. It's time to say farewell for now. Farewell. Farewell. For now. For now. Our time has been such fun. Our friendship's only just begun. So remember to share what you've learned with everyone. But it's time to say farewell for now. Farewell. Farewell. For now. For now. It's time to say farewell for now. Farewell. Farewell. For now. For now. Grandma D loves you and everything you are. You can bet we'll be with you even when we seem far. And so we'll say farewell for now. Farewell. Farewell. For now. For now. It's time to say farewell for now. Farewell. Farewell.